think if more people married people they actually liked, then maybe the conversation around marriage would look really different. But when you have people married to people they don't like, marriage is a miserable existence, and that has been shown as an example repeatedly. So I love what you said about exposing yourself to people that don't fit those stereotypes, but also seek out examples of people who actually enjoy being married to each other. And I'm not talking about happy, because happiness is fleeting. I mean people who really like their partner, like actually love and respect their partner.
The high fees versus the pearly situation, that bothered my soul. And the reason why it bothered my soul is all I hear is men, this guy, even though he was emotional, I get it, all he said was he was preaching nuclear family. He was preaching marriage. And for whatever reason, he became Satan. You know, they were like getting at him. And it was so many comments. And the man said nothing negative. He just was talking pro-marriage. Hey, these are the perks to being married. And they came for him, review after review after review. And I'm like, what?
I know what you're talking about, Shan. And I will say, I think from what I could see, and I lean more like, no, that's irrelevant. I'm not going to bring that in. I think he didn't really consider as much, and I think a lot of women do this too. Even when they're rationals, they don't consider the risks that men have when it comes to marriage. I wish he would have done that more. Like, okay, I hear what you're saying now. That's what I disagree with Pearl on is she. Again, it's like, why are we not pushing the nuclear family as much? And it's also, too, it's like, I don't think the solution is just say men don't get married, because we know the success, I forget what it's called. I forget, I'll look it up. But to be successful or to be in better odds of not being in poverty, if you graduate high school, I think get a job within a certain years or whatever, and then don't have babies out of wedlock, you have very low chances of being in poverty. So it's like, why would we not push that? And if laws need to be changed, let's put our energy towards that in contacting, your state representative or whatever, versus telling men,
that should be
to not get married and to also build. But it's like, but at the same time, I understand why men they feel very, hesitant about it. I get that. And I think like that should be brought in just as much, but at the same time, I don't think the solution is just to say the hell with marriage. So I'm with you, Shan.
Let me just say this: we have done it that way for. If you want to know how not getting married is going to work, look at our community and see where that has gotten us. And if this is what you guys want, then by all means, the kids aren't doing right. It's so much going on because of that nuclear family being torn apart. And you have to think to yourself, what's more important, my money or my kids, my legacy? Like I said before, these are the kids, are the people who are going to take your last name and carry it on. And so it is up to you to figure out what you want that to look like. You understand? And sometimes that money, in my opinion, because most women are not getting alimony. We keep telling you that. The majority are not getting alimony. Now, if you want to talk about child support, that comes with a child. Or if you want to talk about maybe the difference in pay, so to speak, I don't know. But most people, we look up the stats, especially Black people, are not, I think it's like less than 1% getting alimony. But guess what is happening? 72% of kids are born out of wedlock. Like, let's talk about the bigger issue here, which is more so the kids than it is alimony.
Like custody, I think, is a big thing. Okay,
so one of the things, like I talked about this before, my uncles kind of gave me a perspective of marriage that was similar to what people saying in the whole manosphere, right? Like, your wife gonna get fat, she not gonna give you sex, she gonna play these games, and it's not the move. And I quickly, well, not quickly, but I lived my life thinking marriage was not the answer for anything. I'm not getting married. I'm just going to have beautiful women, have sex with them, and then live my life and spend my money the way I want to spend it and not deal with them. But then I ran into women that don't fit none of the paradigms in which they was describing that women existed. And it did require me to get to another level to reach those women. But once I knew they existed, I kind of knew what to look for. So sometimes when I be talking about this, I come from a perspective of privilege because I can see all the gambit of women that exist, right? So I'm gonna acknowledge that I'm not isolated to the pool of women that some people might only be prescribed, right? But it's ways once you get up out of that, when you see it, it's some wonderful women out here that's not like none of the stuff you see online, none of the stuff that you hear about, and you can have an excellent life. And one of the main factors in how I set my life up was I understood that once I had kids, I'm not going on the boat. No more parties and clubbing and bottle service and doing all this stuff. My life was wholly dedicated to my children once they came because it no longer was about me. I think we need to normalize the standard of that, where it's no longer about us. It's about our kids. Once you bring new life into this world, they don't got no choice in this. You know what I'm saying? I take full responsibility for all the things I got choice in, and if I can't, and if it's no way I can put responsibility for my kids being here on my kids, so that's all on me. So it's all about them moving forward. Everybody might not share that, but I think that needs to be normalized.
So I want to add, because I think that was brilliant, Marcus. I want to add one more thing. I think if more people married people they actually liked, then maybe the conversation around marriage would look really different. But when you have people married to people they don't like, marriage is a miserable existence, and that has been shown as an example repeatedly. So I love what you said about exposing yourself to people that don't fit those stereotypes, but also seek out examples of people who actually enjoy being married to each other. And I'm not talking about happy because happiness is fleeting. I mean people who really like their partner, like actually love and respect their partner.
And I know Jay and Trigger are about to jump on me for this comment, and that's okay. And most people in the manosphere would probably jump on me for this, but I firmly believe that Trigger Mike says that there's no dick discipline, like that it's not a thing. I believe that there is because, and I'm going to use married Trigger Mike as an example. The women didn't stop coming; they still show up. They still want some of that trigger from Mike. Mike, but
Mike, he's a whole high value man out here. You're gonna have to put some more.
But he's not shooting up the club though.
He got the binary switch.
I don't think he is. I'm going to say that Trigger Mike is not shooting up the club.
Ideally, he's not. Ideally.
Hold on. Let me bring it home real quick. So I do believe that there is a level of discipline that's necessary from all men to understand the soil that they're planting their seed in. You don't plant your seed in unfertile soil, and I'm not talking about the fertility of the woman. I'm talking about the soil itself. If it doesn't meet the requirements of good growth, you don't plant your seed. Now, women, hold on now, y'all. If you don't make your land available for the man planting the seed, he can't plant that seed. So I believe it's on both sides. I believe it's on both sides where the discipline is necessary in order to kind of remedy some of this non-nuclear. I'm almost done. Some of this non-nuclear family, because I believe the nuclear family, like Marcus stated earlier, is the key to the whole thing. It might have been Coach K. Once we have the nuclear family, then we can rebuild the community. But these fatherless and some motherless homes is what created the chaos that we have right now. Just my opinion.